Mhm. Well, hello, Style Seekers. How's everybody doing? We are live in the Style Lab, and today we have another special guest. That's why I'm here in my office, my little setup here. When I'm not in my closet, I've got somebody coming on with me, or I'm doing one of my programs. For some of you guys who have just joined us, who are new here in the Style Lab Club, I want to welcome you. So thanks for being here with us, where this is a place for an amazing transformation and style journey seekers. So my name is Sue Solari, and I am your leader. I'm your host for the show. We do a live broadcast every Wednesday at 12:30 Central, and this is where we dig in deep to all your style conundrums and questions. So if you've been joining us for this last about 8 weeks or so, you know that we have been having such fun with my current series called Feeling Good in Your Skin, Inside and Out. And we've had some amazing guests come on, experts from everything from wellness to fitness. Makeup experts came on and gave us demonstrations, skincare experts who taught us ways to be to have what do I call it? Well aging skincare tips, essential oils and supplements. And then we spent several weeks doing some fun making holiday looks right before the holidays. So today we're going to end our series and wrap up with a special guest, my good friend Aimee Greczmiel, who is a corporate mom coach. She's a former VP of a Fortune 500 company, and she's taken her passion for mentoring and personal growth and helping working moms. So we're going to pick her brain. I'm going to have her come on and join us, and we'll see if we can get Aimee on here. I'm going to add her. There she is. Aimee, can you hear us and see us?
I can. Hello,
Yay!
everyone. Hi, Sus.
Welcome. Welcome to the show.
Thank
Aimee
you so
is
much.
so awesome. We are super thrilled to have you here with us, Aimee, and help us with some balance techniques and lots of cool stuff that you're going to help us become aware of, and give us some quick tips. And I'm just going to have you give a quick intro about who you are and who you help, and then we'll kind of get into some good questions that I have, and some comments that we might have come up here. Whoever's watching wants to put in a question for Aimee, would love to have you join in on the discussion. So with that,
Perfect.
I will let Aimee take over a little bit here. Tell us about
Yes.
yourself.
Thank you so much, Sus. I'm happy to be here with you today. So my name is Aimee Greczmiel. I am a corporate mom coach, and I was in the corporate space until about 2020, so for 18 years. And I kind of worked my way up the ladder, so to speak, and kind of reached the top. I was at a VP of a Fortune 500 company, and I realized that even though I had achieved and accomplished so much in my career, there was still so much more that I felt called to do, but in a different way. Not so much more additionally, but something different. And that really occurred to me after I had my first child at the age of 35.
Mhm.
And I realized that, I went through, 18 years of, achievement, right? Of getting promoted, doing all the things, getting the accolades, the certifications. But then I had a child, and I realized, motherhood was like a big, big awakening for me. And that's when I realized that my bigger purpose and passion was really around helping women, just like women have helped me, particularly coaches, after I
Yeah.
became a mother. And so that's really what I do today. I help corporate women kind of manage the expectations between their career and their home life, and help them to really find that balance and that fulfillment and that ease that they're really seeking in their day to day life.
I just love that. We have so much in common too, because I also had a corporate career in interior design for about the same amount of time. And I know that we've talked a little bit about this, because actually Aimee had me on her inside her Facebook group, her private group,
Yep.
and we got to talk about ways to balance and ways to prepare with wardrobe. So we kind of switched things, but I have shared too that I struggled with. For me, it wasn't so much motherhood, because I wasn't a mom at that time, but I left when I was pregnant, actually, and went through one of these really weird Me Too situations with the man who was my boss, who was really creepy. Yeah, we haven't talked about that, but for me, was just this background of having this pressure and the performance pressures, and then having weird bosses, right? So I know that things have changed so much with the last 2 years of hybrid working environment or working from home, and so there's a whole nother layer of kind of new challenges that working professional moms are facing. And so I wanted to ask you if you could list maybe your top one or two challenges that you are finding with your community and your clients that seem to be very common, or the most commonplace with with what's going on today.
Yeah, I mean, I even think prior to the pandemic, just based on my experience and what I see with my clients and other women is, you know, working women were really struggling because we grew up in an age where, women were really just becoming leaders in the workplace. It wasn't until the 80s or 90s that really became commonplace.
Mm-hmm.
So it really wasn't that long ago. It really is part of our generation. And so we have all these females, graduating college with these amazing degrees and wanting to, do wonderful things in the world, which is incredible. And at the same time, we are the only ones who can bear children. So, we do have to take on both roles. And we live in a culture where it's expected for women to do most of the caregiving in addition to their careers, right? But I found that there really wasn't a lot of support for that. And a woman shouldn't really have to leave their high-paying corporate career in order to care for children if she doesn't want to. If she wants to, that's ultimately her choice. But I found that there really wasn't much support from employers in particular to support working mothers on how to manage these two very, very big parts of a woman's life, right? And I also didn't feel like, maybe the women in our life, our mothers or grandmothers or, other relatives were really in a position to help support that either, because they grew up in a different generation. So we're really kind of like, women are really navigating all of this on their own, even before the pandemic. And, then the pandemic comes, and now all of a sudden for women who have kids who are school aged, well, now they're home. So now not only are they're home with you. So now not only are you responsible for your career while working at home, maintaining the household and all these things, and you may or may not have support from your husband, which again, what I see many women struggle with is the imbalance within that, right? And the kind of conflict and frustration it can create within your relationship too. I think by default, because of the society we live in and the pressures that exist, is women feel like they have to be all things to everyone all of the time, and it just really puts on this unnecessary added pressure that at the end of the day we're human and we can only take on so much. So it's really, really important, particularly in this pandemic scenario where there's no boundaries, like no real physical boundaries. We're not leaving the home to go to our offices anymore. It's really, really important to just declare them on your own and really think about what that boundary needs to be so that you can feel fulfilled both in your career and as a parent and as a wife and at home. But I find that, if we're not being intentional about that, the day will just consume us, right?
Yeah.
All the demands will take over. And that's really what creates so much unnecessary suffering for
Hmm.
women. And that's why, everyone, is talking about, mom guilt and stress and overwhelm. And, like social media just exacerbates the whole thing because
Yeah.
we're talking so much about the problem instead of the solution. And
Hmm.
women don't really realize, how much power they really have to create and navigate that solution for themselves.
Oh my gosh, for sure, right? You hit so many important concepts from going like historically through, how women executives have, you know, um, populated the workplace, right? I mean, I know even when I started out, one of my first jobs, I had a female boss. She was amazing. She was a great mentor for me. And then I've had some bad male bosses, and I've had a good male boss too, actually. But it really was those female bosses. And then I had another one when I was practicing design in Hong Kong. She was Bulgarian. She was really fascinating, and she just really inspired me to understand like what it took to lead a team. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and when we have those in our life, that can be helpful for us. But like you said, this is how I see you kind of working with your clients, is being that leader on this other side, kind of on a personal side in a way, because you're
Yes.
coaching them, separate from what their work environment is, right? So
Yes.
would that
I
be
often
correct in
say
saying?
I
Yeah.
help corporate women manage their work and personal life because
Hmm.
it's really, it's important. It's important for women as mothers, especially, like we are the torchbearers,
Yeah.
in the same manner that we watched our own mother and parents as we were growing up and observed, all of their habits and behaviors and work
Hmm.
ethics and things like that. Our kids are doing that for us too.
Yeah.
So, for us, for a mother to be stressed and overwhelmed and rushing around and complaining and stuck in the negatives and all those things. And don't get me wrong, I was there once too.
Hmm.
And you get to a point where you realize, okay, I've done everything I'm supposed to do on paper. I have, the big house, career, salary,
Hmm.
husband, kids, and I still felt off. I
Yeah.
was like, what is going on? And
Why
it's
am I not
because I
happy?
wasn't
Yeah.
really taking ownership of my own mindset and results that I was responsible for. And so that's what I really empower women to do, to do things even if they don't feel like they can, and to
Hmm.
really just more so around help shift their thinking around certain
Hmm.
things that, we may operate under a belief that we have to be doing all of these
Yeah.
things, all the shoulds,
Hmm.
right? And those shoulds don't have to exist for us.
Right.
And it's really until you start doing the internal work and coaching, do you begin to realize what's useful to you in your life and what's not. And so you can kind of take what works and leave the rest.
Right. Ah, I love that. I love the idea of, first of all, like the awareness, that you're not feeling fulfilled, and then what are the tools,
Hmm.
and the steps that you can take, and that I know that you, is what you teach, in your
Yes.
programs and with your one-on-ones with your clients. So I did want to ask, if you want to tell us a little bit about, I know you have a workshop coming up where,
Yes.
we can learn more about some of these tools and start to get, an idea of how we can help ourselves in this situation, because you know it's funny because people think, oh, there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and it kind of happened last year a little bit in the summer, and then things changed, and we're grappling with like, a pushback to going back to an office. I know some of my
Right.
clients have gone back into a hybrid situation, so they might be going in 2 or 3 days a week, and then there's that stress of like, well, which days do I go in, and who's
Right.
going to be there, and so, I really want to recommend to all of you guys who are watching to join Aimee, in her workshop, because I'm really excited for
Yes.
some of these tools. So if you want to tell us quickly about it, that'd
Yes,
be good.
sure. So next week, I'm running a morning routine masterclass specifically for corporate moms. So the reason I designed this is, well, one, to solve a problem for myself, and then had tremendous results with it and realized, wow, I really, really, really need to share these tools and techniques with other working women. So basically, you may or may not have heard about morning routine. There's books around, the Miracle Morning or the 5 a.m. Club or things like that, and it's certainly not uncommon in, if you think about like executives or professional athletes, like
Mm.
they're doing a lot of the mindset work that's
Mhm.
necessary to show up and perform well in their day. And
Right.
so many of these tools and methods, I mean, they apply to everyone. It's
Yeah.
just the masses aren't doing it,
Yeah.
right? But I found that with working women, our day, between our demands, between our career and motherhood and the house, right? Like that can completely consume your entire day
Yeah.
if you're not careful. So doing the work, which is going to set you up for a productive day with more focus and clarity and purpose,
Mm.
doing that work first thing in the morning is essential,
Mm.
right? I mean, you
Mm.
can even take it down to like the basics of like, we all know what it feels like when we get up before our kids versus after our
Mm.
kids, right?
Right.
And even if that's the starting point for you, this will absolutely
Mm.
help. And I'll show you kind of the method that will help drive you to maybe wake up earlier or
Mhm.
focus on your goals and plans first thing in the morning, or come up with a purposeful plan for the day ahead, whatever that may be.
Mhm.
I will show you kind of the prescription or the formula for that during my masterclass next week.
Ah, that sounds amazing. I know that
Yeah.
when you have something that you can let it start changing some of your habits. I think, first of all, we talked about awareness, but when you have something that is like, okay, it's written out here for me, this is what I'm going to do, then you just feel like, oh, you know what? All I got to do is follow instructions.
That's right. That's right.
Right?
And women love that. Like women just want, they're like, just tell me what I have to
Tell me
do,
what to do.
you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
But I find that if no one is doing that for us, then we just end up pretty much just responding to all the demands throughout the
Yeah.
day, which can
Yeah.
be very exhausting,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. We can
So
easily
this
lose
will
it.
really help you create that framework for your morning,
Mm-hmm.
which aligns to your highest priorities. It's
Mm-hmm.
not like a one solution fits all. It
Mm-hmm.
never is. Um, any coach that tells you that, I would not advise it. But
Right.
everyone is individual, right? Everyone has their own priorities and their own solutions that align to their values and goals.
Mm-hmm.
And so I will just provide you with the framework that you can fit that into, and then set you up for a successful day, week, months, years, and life.
I love the layering of this, Aimee. It's so important because, a lot of what I talk about inside my group here is looking and feeling confident. And, what are the things that you can do to feel good about yourself, because it has that ripple effect. And, this is a really important inner work. So talk about feeling good on the inside as well as the outside, and it's circular, right? Because it's got
Yes.
that feedback. So
100%.
I'm so excited for your workshop. I'm going to make sure that Aimee puts the link for the sign up to her workshop in the comments, because she has a lot of important materials that will come along with it that
Yes.
I want to make sure that you get, and
Yes.
information about where and when, where to be, all that.
Yes.
What is the time frame again? Is it evening?
So
No,
it's Monday,
can't remember.
Tuesday, and Wednesday, January 10th through 12th at 12 p.m. Eastern
Okay,
in
got
the
it.
Corporate Mom Mindset Facebook group, but you have to register in order to gain access to the group. And I will
Great.
also send you the 2022 planning workbook, which goes with it, which is very, very good. And it'll help you to create an intentional 2022.
Very exciting, as we're all like looking at planning our year ahead. This will layer in so perfectly. Well, thank you, Aimee, so much for coming on.
Yes.
I feel like it's such a cold. I was telling Aimee that here in Chicago it's freezing cold. It's like 2 degrees below zero. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna wear something cozy. Normally I show up with all this bright color. Like, I wanted to show you guys, like, check it out. You guys know that I was in Nashville last week, right? So I got this jacket.
Oh,
How
that's
fun is it? So anyway,
great.
next week I'll do my live on all my Nashville outfits because I had some people asking me like, oh my God, I want to see what you got. But thank you so much
I
for
love
being
it.
on here. This
Thank you
is
so much for
why
having me. I appreciate it.
we're so fortunate to have this lovely community here. So thanks for being here, Aimee, and we're looking forward to your workshop next week.
Okay. Thank
And
you all. Bye-bye.
we'll see you soon. Bye, honey.
Okay,
Bye, everybody. Bye-bye. Finish. Okay, you. Let's see. Did we end it? Yeah. Okay. I think we did. No, we're still live. Okay, I'm gonna end the broadcast. I wanted to get a picture of you and I. Aimee, I'll call you afterwards. Bye, everybody.
Okay. Bye.